Thank you so much. My name is Joan Wayuan Nzioki, a counseling psychologist at Surubi Care for Caregivers. And we're going to take you through this session with my colleague. She'll introduce herself. And we hope you're going to learn from each other.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lynn Angaluki. I am also a counseling psychologist from Surubi Care for Caregivers, and I'm excited to be having this session with you. Karibuni.
Our session is about how to care for oneself as a caregiver. So first of all, before we start this session, I'd like us to understand who a caregiver is, or rather what the meaning of a caregiver is. So the easiest or the definition that majority of us can be able to remember stems just from the name caregiver, which means you're giving care to someone. It can be giving care to your child, it can be giving care to your spouse, it can be giving care to your parent, it can also be giving care to yourself, because at some point we are our own self caregivers, right? But today we are going to focus on the child. So in this case, it's parents, as parents being caregivers. And as we move on, I'd like us to look at the meaning of self-care. So what is self-care? So this is intentionally engaging in activities that support one physical, mental, and emotional well-being. As human beings, we are all holistic, which means that we have our physical aspects, we have our mental aspects, we have our emotional aspects. Na hiyo ndio inatufanya tukue kimoja. So engaging in activities zenye zina support all those aspects, it's what hiyo ndio inaitwa self-care sasa. And we're going to look at the different types of self-care when we go on. So this session is about reminding us that caring for yourself is not luxury. It is essential for both you and your child or your children, because nowadays we have these misconceptions that tuna hustle, kupumzika there's this quote that nowadays most people use. I'd like to say it quotes in quotes, kupumzika ni mbinguni. But in reality, is it true? Kupumzika ni mbinguni kweli? Because sometimes we see that when we take care of ourselves, it is very important, because it will change actually how we interact with other people and also with other aspects in our lives. So we're going to delve more about self-care and the types of self-care and also self-care practices. So types of self-care, we have physical self-care, which include exercises, healthy eating, adequate sleep, and staying hydrated. When I say physical exercise, it means when I say physical self-care, it means the self-care practices that are important on our physical well-being, mwili yetu. When we exercise, we actually stretch ourselves, na pia ina increasing in blood flow. The same to healthy eating. We all know that eating healthy is really important for our bodies, because our bodies need the nutrients, our bodies need the sugars, and if we do not eat healthy, it will have very negative effects on our bodies. So tunafaa tuangalie also our healthy eating as a type of self-care for our physical bodies. We also have adequate sleep. According to research, it states that it is best for an individual to have sleep for 8 hours. And I understand this cannot be applicable to everyone, but we should try to have adequate sleep depending on our schedules. We all know that different people have different occupations. Some of us cannot maybe get that time for sleeping 8 hours straight, but we must try to incorporate it in our schedules. Ndio pia isifike mahali hadi sisi we are forgetting ourselves. And also staying hydrated is also part of the healthy eating. We also have emotional self-care as another type of self-care. And emotional self-care means you're taking care of yourself emotionally, your feelings and all. So journaling can be a good way of taking care of your emotional self, because when you journal, you're writing about your feelings, what you feel, and most people express themselves better when they write, when they journal, because not all of us maybe find it easy maybe to share with someone, to talk to someone, and the only way you can release the tension out of you is by journaling, and that is okay. For those who are comfortable in talking to a therapist, that's another way of taking care of yourself emotionally, and also practicing mindfulness. And when you come to mental self-care, um, we have reading, solving puzzles, and learning new skills. When I say mental self-care, I mean the self-care practices which you can do yenye itatuangalia, make sure we come to our mental wellness. We can read, we can solve puzzles, because solving puzzles somehow creates a sense of your mind will be active, because you're trying to figure out solutions to the puzzle. So it kind of jogs your mind. And also we can learn new skills in the process of our mental self-care. When it comes to social self-care, some practices might include nurturing relationships and connections with others, including spending time with loved ones, making new friends, or participating in social activities. The social self-care, when I started, I said that holistically, there's a physical aspect, emotional aspects, mental aspects, social aspects, and also spiritual aspect. So the social aspect of our lives is how we relate to one another. So when we say you're taking care of yourself socially, social self-care, you can nurture relationships and connections with others, maybe your friends, your loved ones. It can be also your children, or even making new friends, because no one is an island. So you can make new friends and even participating in social activities. Today you might say, today let me go for swimming. Today let me go and meet up with my friends. It's been long since we had a meeting. That is a type of social self-care, so that you can take a break from the activities those activities that have been occupying your mind, maybe throughout the month or throughout the week. Um, when it comes to um, spiritual self-care is how we connect to to the higher being, to the supreme being, which we all believe in. And we can do that through religious practices, praying, singing, and others might do it through meditation, and others through spending time in nature, or even engaging in their reflective activities. So um, that is the types of self-care that we have. And moving forward, I'd let my colleague Lynn to take over.
Thank you so much, John, for that. So far we've been told what self-care is and the different types of, self-care. So I'd like for us, before we move on to the next bit, to try and just reflect, Maluko, what have you been doing, or rather, ukiangalia all those aspects, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, ni nini umekuwa ukifanya yenye inakusaidia somehow as a form of self-care? It could be praying, it could be like we've been told, reading. Inaweza kuwa ni kuongea na rafiki yako kuhusu something that's been stressing you up when you're taking care of your person. So all those things, just reflect, and you can type in kwa comments and messages, and then just let us know what you've been trying to do over time to help you with coping with all these things. So when we speak about emotional realities of parenting, neurodivergent children, we're trying to look at the emotions that come up ukiendelea kuchunga mtoto wako. So what emotions do you usually go through? Now, before we even speak about them, I'd like to validate all those emotions. Ni sawa kuhisi all those emotions, whether good or bad, because again, we're human. And sometimes we feel happy, sometimes we feel sad, sometimes you're angry, sometimes you have questions that don't have answers, sometimes you're angry at God, sometimes you feel guilty. All those things, ni sawa kuzihisi. Because again, like I've said, we are human and we have emotions. So all those emotions, before we continue, first of all, allow yourself to feel them sometimes, and also know that they are validated and it's okay to feel them. So can you please go to the next slide? Thank you. So the first one is love. So I believe that a parent, most of the time, we find that ukishapata mtoto and you have this person who's a blessing to you and you have immense love for them. So even as time goes by, you still have this great love for them and it fuels your strength and you want to wake up to tomorrow morning. You want to wake up umchunge tena. You want to do all these things for them because you love them so much. So that's one of the things that we have as an emotion that we feel towards our children while parenting them. So it fuels your strength, your sacrifices, and your hope for another day. So because you wake up today and you're like, this is my child, acha nimchunge tena, because, my fruit and all that. And you want to sacrifice yourself and give yourself, give your best for them. Then the next one we have sometimes is frustration, which is quite the opposite of love, yeah? So sometimes unaamka, you can wake up and you're like, I don't know what to do anymore. Sijui nifanye nini, nimechoka, And it's okay to feel that. It doesn't mean that haupendi mtoto tena. And sometimes we beat ourselves up because of such emotions. And I want to tell you that it's okay to feel these emotions. Just don't get stuck in that one place. And that's why we're trying to bring out these self-care routines or rather these self-care classes and awareness, so that hata ukihisi hivyo, you know that it's okay to feel like that. Sahi nahisi hivi. So what can I do ndo niweze kumove from this one place yenye niko stuck. Hapa mahali penye nasikia nimejam, nimekasirika sana. So that's frustration. It's okay to feel frustrated, but it doesn't mean that you don't love your child anymore. Then there's guilt. Sometimes you feel so guilty, and it's really something that most people or most parents might go through while taking care of their loved ones. And it's because you feel like sometimes it's your fault. Maybe it's something you did, ama mtu alikwambianga ni kwa sababu ulifanya, all those things. And you end up feeling guilty, yet you have no control over whatever is happening. So sometimes, or rather most of the time, give yourself some grace and know that, don't blame yourself for things that don't go right. Sometimes hata tukichunga watoto unapata, you feel like maybe I could have done things better, ama ningempeleka hospitali mapema, ama analia sana. Sasa, all those things, you get frustrated and then you're confused, you feel so guilty, you start blaming yourself. Ni kwa sababu yangu, ama you blame someone who's close to you. So all these things, they do happen and we feel these emotions, and it doesn't mean that you no longer care, like I said. It doesn't mean that you stopped loving your person. So, and it's okay to feel those things. So allow yourself and also, so allow yourself and also give yourself, the grace. There's also fear, which is not sometimes, I think it's often when we feel like sijui kesho itakaje. Leo ako sawa, tumeambiwa na daktari ako sawa, tunaona ana improve, dawa zinafanya kazi, and then kesho, we don't know what will happen because it's happened before. Mlikuanga mahali penye mko hopeful, mnajua it's okay. Now, tomorrow tuko sawa. Then you get to tomorrow and then things don't go the way we planned. So some of these things, our expectations are beyond our control sometimes. So, and it's okay to want, to have this hope for a better tomorrow. But at the same time, let's have manageable expectations whereby had to expect something so big to just happen kesho. So we have small bits of hope in between. Yenye tunaangalia tunasema at least today, this happened. That way you manage the fear that you have inside. Yenye utasema sasa kesho alafu, Your fears for your child's future are valid and understandable. That's all we have to say about that fear. And it's okay to feel that scared, but have those small bits of hope every now and then that are manageable. And also, the last one is isolation, where you need to know that you're not alone in as much as it feels like uko peke yako. You know, there's this whole community here. There are people around you who you might not see on a support because you know you're so indulged in taking care of your child that you don't see the support that they give you. And it's okay to also be there. Yeah. But try hard as you can not to tell yourself or to allow your brain to kufika hapo mahali penye unasema niko peke yangu tu maisha. You know, it's just me and my child. So kila kitu ni wewe. You know, all that. Sometimes it's okay for you to allow yourself to have a community of people wenye mnaweza ongea now. And I'm so glad that this support group is here for you and for us as well. So know that you're not alone, even if you feel like kabisa mimi niko peke yangu. You know, and hakuna mtu anaelewa kenye napitia. And it's true, sometimes people don't really understand what we're going through, but there's always someone somewhere who's like almost having something similar. So it's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel like you're frustrated. It's okay to feel guilty sometimes, but don't let yourself linger hapo sana. And it's okay to love yourself and to love your child kabisa, because these are some of the emotions we have. So if there's any emotion in you to leave out, you can write it down there for the rest of us to learn from and to also see from. So out of all those, I just want to remind you that your emotions are very valid. And this kind of care comes with mixed feelings. Utahisi umekasirika leo, the next minute you're very happy because the child has managed a milestone fulani, leo ameweza kufanya kitu fulani. Sometimes you feel a lot of love, sometimes you're so angry, sometimes you're guilty and you're angry with God, you know, why me, you know, all those questions. And sometimes you have so much hope. And even other times, like we see there, you have grief. You go through a process of grief. And all these things are real to each and every one of us, in as much as some people might not understand us and what we're going through. It's okay to feel whatever it is you're feeling, but don't let yourself stay down there for long. So all these emotions are real and they are very acceptable. So you don't have to suppress them or to justify them. Ati kila siku nasema nasikia hivi lakini ni kwa sababu. You know, no, you don't have to justify them to anyone. And also you don't just give yourself permission to feel these things. Jikubalishe, kwa sababu sometimes unahisi guilty and then you start beating yourself up. Yeah, you're not allowing yourself to feel these things, which is still so normal and so okay to feel. So give yourself permission to feel because this is the first step towards your healing journey and a healthy self-care. If there's any question, again, just a reminder, you can type it down or we'll answer them at the end of the session. So we are moving on to the self-care tips. The first one being minding your mental health. So every day, jiulize nahisi aje leo. You know, jioni, because sometimes we forget. Na ama tuko busy sana, the whole day has been packed, hour after hour, minute after minute. Umekuwa tu na vitu unafanya. You don't have time to even sit down ujiulize wana nahisi aje by the way, you know? Nahisi aje leo, how am I feeling about this thing? Nimeambiwa hivi nahisi aje kuhusu. So check in with yourself daily. How am I really feeling today? And then give yourself permission to pause. Unaona hata kama uko busy sana, there's always that time yenye utasema at least I have 1 minute or 5 minutes to breathe and just, you know, nikue mimi, ground myself. Just be there in the moment. So you give yourself that permission. Usisikia ni kama you're taking away time from caring for your child. And then even 5 minutes of silence can help reset your brain. Ukai tu umenyamaza mahali, breathe in, breathe out, do some breathing exercises, and just be there, be in the moment. That will help you. Give yourself that permission to pause. Toka nje kidogo, just go, angalia nje, angalia miti if you have, you know, that environment. Just be there. Yeah? Jikubalishe wewe mwenyewe. And then the next one is practicing letting go of perfection. I understand that most of the times parents want to give us the best, yeah? And as parents, we want to give the best to our children. Na sometimes tunasahau we cannot be perfect per se. Nitampatia kila kitu lakini bado utapata ni kama ndani yako unahisi I should have done more, ama kuna kitu kingine ningeongezea, you know. So look towards making goals, small goals. Leo tumeweza kufanya hii, tumeweza kufanya hii. And just allow yourself to be happy in that moment. Because ukisema nataka kufanya kila kitu, you can't really expound everything as a parent. So focus on the progress that you make, the small steps that you make. Those little goals then you achieve every day. Focus on those ones. Then the next tip is you set realistic boundaries. Jua wakati wa kusema yes na wakati wa kusema no. And this is so hard, even for us. Unapatanga mara nyingi mtu anakuja na kuambia nasu ufanye tu tafadhali, you know, they come to you vizuri and you don't know how to say no. So sometimes learn to say no to activities or people that drain your energy. Utapata mtu fulani akikuja kila wakati unakasirikanga tu, lakini hujui kusema hapana. Ama anakuja anaongezea kazi ingine juu ya yenye uko nayo, ukiangalia mtoto, unaona all those things. So jifunze tu kusema no to people that wanakunyonya nguvu yako, tuseme hivyo. That's not the right word really, but wanakumaliza hiyo energy levels. Alafu you set limits, hata kama ni na shule, kama ni therapist unaonanga, kama ni family members, kila time wako hapo hivyo, you know, lingering and asking and demanding because you know how to do this thing. Yeah, wanasemanga wewe unajua kufanya. Sometimes you know when to say no and when to set limits. Unasema leo nitafanya hii, kesho sifanyi, you know, and it's okay to do that. Usiwacha wanaweza sema you're becoming selfish ama umeanza kuharibika, but you're really just taking care of yourself and your mental health. So learn to say no and to have certain limits for what you can do. Now, unakumbuka when we say that you give yourself some time and allow yourself to have that time. So ukikubali people to keep on coming and asking and taking from you and taking from you without giving back, utapata you don't even have that time to sit down and think, wa leo kulikuwaje? Because you're already tired, umeacha mtoto amelala and then sasa unataka kulala. You have no time for you. So when you learn to set these limits, utapata over time, hata wewe mwenyewe umeanza kuhisi yenyewe, now I'm feeling much better. At least now I have a clear mind. Kesho naweza panga siku yangu, sikuamka tu na kuanza kukimbia tena. Because you've given yourself that time and you've given yourself those limits and boundaries zenye unasema, mimi hapa sitakuwa nafanya sasa, mpatie nani. Because I can't be doing that all the time. Because I have these other things I have to do that are more prioritized. Also avoid over researching and over planning. So hapa, when you want to find a solution for someone you love, most of the times unapata you do the extreme. I want to know more and more and more, and then what can I do? So by over researching, you find that you spend almost all your day, I mean the whole of your free time, or what we could call free time, yenye ungeketi chini upumue, you spend it all the time kutafuta what next, what medicine imetokea, nasikia kuna kitu fulani India, you know, all those things. And over planning, unapanga tu kila wakati. So it's okay to take a break from figuring it all out. Sometimes what you can kama hata hujui. Yeah, and it's okay to do that. Not all the time, yes, because sometimes we often have to plan for the next thing, but allow yourself to just be in that space where leo si research by the way, ama niki-research ni dakika 5 peke yake, alafu 10 za kupumzika peke yake. And it's not every day, usifanye ikuwe kila siku, because sometimes some of the remedies we get are really way beyond our reach and zinaongezea sasa to your stress levels. Unajiuliza sasa tutaanza harambee, tutaanza kufanya nini, you know, all that. So try and limit the amount of time you spend on researching and planning big things, which is okay to plan big things, but isikuwe ni kila wakati. Then the next one is seeking emotional support. How do we do this? Different people have different ways of doing it. Inaweza kuwa wewe unatakanga kuongea na rafiki yako, inaweza kuwa unatakanga kuongea na mama yako ama baba yako, inaweza kuwa unatakanga kuongea na therapist, inaweza kuwa unatakanga kuongea na your neighbor. It can be any. And that's a way of taking care of yourself, because at least you're letting out the emotions, you're allowing yourself to process easy vitu zenye umekuwa ukihisi. So talk to a counselor or a therapist if possible. Ama the way we've all joined this group, we join a support group. either online, because right now we're online, and in person mahali unaweza, with other parents who understand the situation you're going through. Because you remember we said that sometimes we feel misunderstood and we feel like hakuna mtu anaelewa kenye tunapitia. So when you have a support group where people are going through the same thing in unapitia, you get to feel to even have tips of how to do things sometimes. Unaweza pata hili ni shinda, mama ya nani alifanya nini, baba nani alifanya nini, kamsaidia, wacha niende nijaribu nione kama itanisaidia mimi. So joining a support group has many benefits, whether itakuwa online ama in person. It's also that time yenye unachukuanga for you to just go and decompress, utoe all those things that you've been thinking all day, hizo vitu zote umekuwa ukifanya the whole day. Give yourself that time, and then usiji-isolate, usikae mbali na watu. Reach out to someone who listens without judgment, because sometimes you speak to people alafu anakuambia lakini ungefanya and to you unajua ulifanya your best, lakini anakuja anakuambia ungefanya hivi, upana ungefanya hivyo. No, find the right people wa kuongelesha. Si kila mtu unaongelesha and they feed to your energy. So reach out to someone who listens to you bila kukujudge. Okay. And then the next tip is number 4. I think, Joan, you can take us through the rest.
Thank you so much for taking us through the tips for self-care. Tip number, Vincent has raised his hand. Could I kindly answer your concern after the presentation, kindly? Thank you. Tip 4, we have care for your body gently. So by caring for your body gently, what does it mean? You can stretch or move your body daily, even for 10 minutes. It's not a must that you go 1 hour of session or 2 hours. Even for 5 minutes, it's just enough. Something that itakufanya tu stretch, something itakufanya tu stretch. And when I started the session by saying types, it was under types of self-care. We had the physical self-care. This fell under the physical self-care because we talked about hydrating and also trying to eat nourishing foods and also resting when we can, even if it's a short nap or sitting quietly with your eyes closed. Resting does not mean like rest the whole day. We can also embrace the micro moments of resting. Ile tu umesema, for these 5 minutes, I'm not handling anything. For these 10 minutes, I'm not handling anything. It's just me and me. I reflect and I rest when I can. Hata kulala, maybe taking a nap for 5 minutes or 10 minutes can be so helpful. To tip number 5, we have accepting help without guilt. Sometimes as parents, we might feel guilty when we leave our children, waangaliwe na wengine. But truth be told, we cannot handle it alone. We cannot handle everything alone. We have to accept help from others, because when we handle it alone, itafika mahali, you'll have a breakdown, you'll have burnout. Now, we can also let others cook, let others babysit when they offer. Also, you can ask help before you break down. The way my colleague talked about talking to a trusted friend, at a therapist, you can ask for help from either the one which you feel comfortable with, because we cannot carry it all alone. We are human beings. Yeah, you don't have to carry it all alone to be a good parent. Parents really, what's this word? You go out, like mnajitumanga sana so that your children can get the best. Now, it does not mean you have to carry it alone to be a good parent. You can accept help without feeling the guiltiness. Tip 6, we have embracing micro moments of rest, the one which I talked about. You can have deep breathing whenever we feel those sudden moments of anxiety, attention. You can do some deep breathing exercises. Also, this sipping tea, you can just take ukae kwa corridor, ukae tu mahali quiet, tuseme acha tu nikunywe hii chai polepole while you're reflecting. We can have journaling for those who are able to express their feelings well through writing, or also voice noting your thoughts before bed. You can just say, there's this feature in WhatsApp which allows you to message yourself. So unaweza ingia top useme, hapo kwa voice the voice note icon, you can voice note your thoughts there. Useme venye leo kulikuwa, what you have achieved today, what you'd like to achieve tomorrow, what you're grateful for, venye siku imeenda, just those like just speaking your thoughts there. If you don't feel comfortable sharing to others, then listening to calming music or nature sounds while doing chores is also a way of resting. Na to summarize the session notes you have talked about, um, you don't have mental health is a daily practice, and you don't have to have it all together to be a good parent. Showing up with love, honesty, and care for yourself is more than enough. um you don't have to have it all together. It's not a must you become you be a perfect. My colleague talked about letting go of perfection. It's not a must you be perfect for your child or for anyone else. Just showing up with love, showing up with honesty, showing up for care, for showing up and care for yourself is more than enough. Because if we cannot take care of ourselves, if we cannot practice self-care, if we cannot take care of ourselves, then our children can be at risk of it. Because we might break down, we might have moments of breakdown, and if we do not do something about it, it can also transfer to our children. And just some few tips for quick self-care ideas depending on available time. um you can take 1 minute of your time to have deep breath and stretches. If you have 5 minutes, you can do a quiet hot drink. If you have 10 minutes of your time, you can walk, nature walk, or even take a fresh air. If you have 15 minutes or more, you can enjoy your hobby, be it knitting, be it cooking, be it reading, swimming, yeah, or even taking a nap. That's all we had for you today for this session. Thank you so much for your time, and I think we can go to question and answer session. If you have any question or a comment, kindly.
My name is Vincent. I hope I can be heard.
Yes, Vincent, we are hearing you.
Okay, so I'm a board member of Dyslexia Tanzania. And thank you for your presentation. And thank you for taking us through this session. It has been a good one. Now, my concern is I don't know your catchment. I don't know your catchment areas because disability comes with poverty. They're sisters. And what we have discussed here is things that need to be taken through by maybe experts or maybe professionals, because most of the parents whose children have been diagnosed with disability, they tend to face things on the mental health, which requires psychosocial kind of therapeutic intervention. And for them to access this psychosocial therapeutic intervention, sessions are paid for. And as I have said from the beginning, is that disability and poverty are two you can't separate them. They're sisters. And you'll find out that in some instances, most of these sessions are charged at a higher rate. I don't know how, as an organization, or maybe as your individual capacities, I don't know your catchment areas, because there are quite a number of parents who have undergoing a lot of mental health issues, who are maybe in semi-urban areas. Because if I can quote a research which was done by Joseph Carissa Gona, who is a lead researcher in a place called Cambridge, one of the significant findings was that parents of children with he was doing a research on autism. Parents of children with autism face quite a number of mental health issues, and most of them cannot access services which are going to deal or which are going to assist them to overcome the mental health issues. So those are the significant findings. Accessibility. So now, how do you come in to fill that gap? I know it might be a challenge, but maybe we can share thoughts and idea, or it can be a food of thought. But how do you come in now to assist or try to mitigate or try to cover that gap which has been identified? That's my question. I'll come in later.
Thank you so much, Vincent, for your question and your concern. Regarding to your question, there are some organizations which are put in place. I'm not sure about Tanzania, but I know of some organizations here in Kenya that offer therapeutic services absolutely for free with no charges at all, because they also understand that not many people can be able to access therapy when the charges are high. So I think it can be a food for thought and also a area of discussion if there can be available organizations in Tanzania also. It's something that I will research on.
Also, as we, try to look at that bigger picture, some of the things we've spoken about are some of the steps you can take towards caring for yourself before part of that big service, which, as you said, and it's true, is quite expensive for some of us. So taking care of yourself in those small bits, giving yourself permission, taking time, writing down your thoughts, talking to someone, finding support groups like this one, where sometimes you find like vile tumeitwa hapa. We're here to speak about caring for oneself and your mental health. So those are some of the gaps that have been filled by some of these organizations. And those are some of the steps you can take to, work towards the bigger picture, which is your holistic well-being. Yeah. Vincent, I hope we've answered your question in as much as it's
Yeah,
partly because you haven't
yeah.
come with a solution.
Yeah, I think it's a food of thought what John has said and what you have just
Yeah.
added to what John has said. This session has been quite a good one because we have taken us through different stages in as far as denial is concerned, because parents of children with special needs, they tend to face a lot of denial, and the society cannot accept them. The society is also an issue. It kind of segregates such kind of discriminates such kind, if I can use discriminates such kind of parents. And this session has been quite impressive for parents who are in this forum. And I wish that we could have quite a number of people also who are join us in this forum, because those stages are very key from the fear aspect and until now you have those kind of levels that you have just discussed. So, well, it's us to think about it and see how best we can try to see if we can come with some kind of programs like community-based rehabilitation kind of program, the CBR programs, where you meet parents in the semi-urban areas who cannot reach out to your services, so that you take the services to them. That's a program that I launched somewhere, and it really brought so many parents who had hidden their children to light. They saw that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So we had to come together as a multi-sectoral kind of team and see how best we can reach their parents in different areas, in the semi-urban areas where they cannot access services in urban areas. So we had to bring people from the provincial administration coming in and giving us support, so that parents can know that as we come to the ground, we're not just coming to lecture them, but we are coming to teach them on how best they can take care of their children, as well as trying to offer them psycho kind of therapies and so forth. So it's a full of thought anyway, which can be put further, because CBR program again is very expensive to implement. It requires a lot of donation and donors and so forth. But if it is full in place, it's something that can benefit the community so much.
Thank you for your
Thank you,
input.
Vincent. For that addition, I would like to know, maybe it's related to what Vincent just said. In many cases, I don't see parents accepting the situations. I don't see them going to seek help. They stay in denial for quite some time. I don't know the situation with you, Kim Suruvi. Do you find parents, more of them, not willing to openly talk about the situation? Do you find them, many not accepting that their children have a challenge? Because I personally started a parents-only group. It hasn't been as active as I thought. Parents, many of them, they don't seem to accept and come out seeking help. How does the situation look like for you, Tim Surovi?
I can agree with you. So I can just add on. Some parents might be in denial, yes, and that is why we try so much to talk about these concerns or these issues, because the moment where the information ikikuwa spread to many people, that's how awareness begins. Maybe those parents are in denial because they feel like when they speak out they'll be judged, ama no one might understand them. And the first step to minimize the stigma, ama to make sure that the correct information reaches to those parents, is by holding forums such as this, which we highly recommend.
Okay. Do we have any other question from the participants or additional comments from the people in the meeting? You could also type or inbox me your message if you'd like me to present it on your behalf. I'm putting my number on the chat.
So okay, for a second.
Go ahead, Farisa.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. The session we did last time, I think I don't remember the lady, but she was a mother who was giving her testimonial. And I don't know if she's here with us. I honestly don't remember her name. But one of the things that inspired this session was from that session, because tunaona wazazi wengi wanang'ang'ana na watoto but then they forget themselves. I think the biggest reason for this session isn't just to show that self-care is important, but to remind you as a parent ambaye you have a kid, not only just a kid, but a kid who takes care, who is differently abled in whichever capacity, whether it's dyslexia, whether it's a physical illness, in whichever capacity, that you as a mother, first and foremost, and as a dad, whoever it is that's taking care of his kid, right? That it's important for you to give yourself hope before you start going back to your kid, because that's how burnouts exist. That's how you have parents who are throwing out their kids. That's how we have neglected kids and all that. So the aim of this session today really was, in as much as a lot of these things seem to be material based, some of these things you can do them alone. You can do them even at home. You can do them in a group, right? Kwamba mnakutana na fellow parents au mnakutana na friends, or unafanya mwenyewe. Like, the aim is just to remind you as a parent who is taking care of someone else that, hey, there is hope out there. Yes, you're dealing with a lot, and we can't deny that. I can't imagine just how much you're going through. But at the end of the day, take a break, take a breather, and that's what's important. So I want for all the parents who are here that if there's anything you don't take away out of it, please remember that even the hope that you wish to come will only come in when you remember to just breathe in, take a step back, try to, not dissociate is not the right word. Take a step back from everything that's happening just to remind yourself as a person. Because like I said last time, kids can sense when you're feeling different. They always can sense. So if you're not feeling well, they will also not feel well. So if you want for them to feel good, try and take care of yourself. And no one is going to condemn you for that. No one, absolutely not. And if there's anyone who does that, please ignore them because they don't know what you're going through, but only you. So you take care of yourself, and your child will always appreciate that. They will never forget it. They'll grow up and they'll always say, I am thankful for my mom, I'm thankful for my dad, or whoever it is that took care of them, because they saw how much work you put in for yourself and for them. So please don't be scared to do that for yourself. Don't be scared to do that for people around you, and keep pushing that message out there. It doesn't have to mean that you have to have a lot of money. Not necessarily. Platforms like these exist. If you ever need to talk to someone, you can always reach out to platforms like Dyslexia, there's Akilihu, there's multiple platforms you can reach out to. Your friends that you trust, the people close to you, all of those, you can always reach out. Please, please don't be scared. We're always here to give you hope and remind you you're not alone. But most importantly, you need to remind yourself that, so that you can give your kid what's best, and the kid will always appreciate you. I can promise you that. So long as you do it for you and they see it, you can never go wrong with that. And don't be scared to open up and speak up, okay? Please, please don't be scared. You can reach out in any way possible. We are always here for you. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Farisa. Actually, the parent who shared last time is not with us today. She's Fatma, but we are in touch. Maybe today the program didn't find her in a position to attend, but she's always in our support group, and a lot of support is found there every day. And we share a lot, not only from this session, but also we have other experts who share amazing things. So, and we're welcoming Team Suruvi to come and be part of us. Sometimes questions are asked that you are better placed to answer, so you're welcome. But I also wanted to say that parents, any parent in this platform, please just feel free, speak out. Many parents have gotten amazing help from just being open. Like I remember there's a parent who was struggling, the child was in the wrong school. And when a child with special needs is in the wrong school, it even makes the situation worse. So when we connected and I was able to connect her to the right school, everybody in that family is doing much better, So you get help. Talking about the situation you're going through is already like a solution to your challenge. So let's have that habit of speaking out. And it really helps. And I came to learn that these children with different abilities, they're actually very happy. So as a caretaker, you might be depressed, but your son, your daughter is actually having a great time. They don't care really. They don't know they're in a different situation. So as a caretaker, you just need to know that life has to go on, need to take care of yourself for you to have something. An empty vessel does not have anything to offer, you know? So, and these children are just having a great time. They are just very happy. And you're here running around and you're not able to take care of yourself. So you're not even as competent as you could if you were in the right state of mind. So I also take this opportunity to thank you so much, Team Suruvi. I see you have your contacts on the screen. Anybody who needs your help, please, people, just take the contacts. And then any services you need for caring, any services you need from them, feel free to contact them, because this is a big organization based in Kenya. They have a proven track record. And I'm sure we are going to, if they're interested, we are going to add them to our support group so that we have more resources. And obviously, I don't know, Joan, if you'd like to market your platform more, maybe there's something you would have said about your platform. I don't know how much you charge. Maybe, I don't know, whatever your services are. Maybe you'd market yourself more. You could say something about Suruvi, Care for Caregivers. But I welcome you also, maybe we have a few minutes. We normally end at 9. We have a few minutes. So I welcome you people to join our activities. And also there are amazing sessions as parents that we could attend, prepared by Akilihuru. Akilihuru is a mental health platform. They also have sessions like these ones. I'm not sure, Suruv, if you have sessions like these ones, but I know Akilihuru every Thursday at 8 p.m. They have amazing sessions. I have learned a lot from there. As a caregiver, the more you know, the better you're able to serve your child and your community. So when you learn a lot of things, then you're a better caregiver. So I welcome you also to be joining these sessions. But also there's an amazing conference happening in Nairobi. This is an inclusion conference. I will be sharing posters in our support group and information. If you're in Nairobi, there's no point where you should not attend. It's an amazing conference, bringing people all the way from America, from the UK, from all parts of the world. In many cases, we have been going there for these conferences, but now they're coming to our home. They're coming to Nairobi. So take advantage. It's been very costly to go all the way to America, to the UK, to attend a conference for a whole week. So this time it's coming to Nairobi. This is closer home. You can join the conference and learn, also network. Suruvi, make sure you follow and maybe attend. You never know what connections you can make from that conference. But I also wanted to announce that as Dyslexia Tanzania, we've been honored to be invited to go to Kazakhstan. In Kazakhstan, we are going to present a paper on inclusion, and this is happening in October. So this is a milestone. We are going to be sharing a lot of details about this. Thank you so much for joining. I welcome Suruvi team. John, you can say something about your organization, please, before we close. We normally close at 9. So you have a few minutes to share.
Thank you so much. Suruvi Care for Caregivers is an organization that specifically provides care for caregivers, just from the name. We have some therapy sessions for not just caregivers alone, but any individual who might feel that they need to talk to a therapist. And the reason why Suruvi Care for Caregivers caters for caregivers primarily, but it is not specific. Okay, primarily caregivers. It's because some caregivers give care to others and they end up forgetting themselves. And in the process of forgetting themselves, so they cannot give the required care to the care recipients. So that's why it's care for caregivers. We also have some self-care enhancement programs. They are called Mindful of Me, whereby caregivers attend and they are equipped with self-care enhancement tools, which help them very much. And actually, many people have reported a positive change. And apart from that, we also have some informal gatherings and settings whereby we have caregivers come and share their experiences, and it has really changed a lot of caregivers' perspectives about caregiving. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I received a question on the chat regarding the conference in Nairobi. I have put all the details there. Contact this person in the information I have given. This is the very first ever dyslexia conference happening here in Black Africa, and I welcome all people to join. It's happening on 20th to 21st of August, and it's happening at KISE. KISE is the Kenya Institute of Special Education. And all the contacts are there. In case you have any questions, please take the numbers and contact the person who is organizing the conference. As Dyslexia Tanzania, we purpose to be there. We are actually part of the speakers in this conference. That's how important it is. We are invited to also present and partake and be part of the moderators of the conference. So these are very big platforms that can give us a chance to know more, to network and all this. And if you fail to get any details from there, I have a poster and more details that I'm not able to share here. So just take my number and contact me. Once again, I thank you so much. Anybody has something to say before we call it an evening? Anybody else? I don't see a hand raised. I don't see a hand raised, but I think this has been an amazing session. Thank you, Team Suruvi. We hope to be with you again another time. I've learned a lot personally, for sure. There's something I have learned out of this presentation, and I look forward to collaborating more with you. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening too.
Have a good evening as well.
Thank you so much. Yes, Charles, you wanted to say something, or are you just saying hi? Good to see you, Charles. Charles is based at Patandi, our model school for the whole country for children with special needs, Patandi. Thank you so much. I also saw Archibald Mushi. He's a director of a school that takes care of children. That is an inclusive school, I should put it. It's an inclusive school here in Tanzania. Thank you so much, team, for joining. It's such a pleasure to have you all join, and may you have a good evening.